Welcome everybody to the weekly power up. It is Monday, October 5th, 2020. This is crazy. We only got 2 more months left in 2020. Can you believe it? We're almost done with the year. And I just first of all want to welcome you to the weekly power up and market update. My name is Leo Robles. Thank you so much. If you're joining me live today, thank you so much for tuning in live at this live presentation. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much for watching this on the replay as well. My intention is to deliver powerful information to you so that way you can be empowered and resourceful throughout the week, and then you can make some things happen here. So the first slide that I'm going to go ahead and cover here is the intention, right? The intention of this meeting is to empower you to be inspired and resourceful to be the greatest benefit to everyone. Right? Because if you have the right information at your fingertips, then you're going to be able to be empowered yourself, number one, and number two, then empower your clients and your potential customers. Because if you're in a different state of mind, and when you have a conversation, every single thing comes down to that one conversation, that first impression that you're going to be having with your potential customer, right? If you have the answers, if somebody asks you, how's the market? And you're like, it's okay, I don't know, it's good. Well, is it good for a buyer? Is it good for a seller? Why is it good? And do you know your numbers? Because it's really important to know numbers, because a lot of people are really huge about that, right? And for yourself as well, because if you know your numbers for yourself, you're going to be taking actions based on those possibilities versus if you didn't know, right? So the talk, right? I'm going to start off with a little motivational talk, or with something that's going to just center you and ground you. And this is going to be your pathway to success, right? So what is the pathway to success? What does it mean? And why am I talking about the pathway to success? Well, I think that there's a couple of different key reasons or key ways that you can get yourself on track for success. And number one, how you do that is by raising your standard, right? Because if you are making whatever money you're making at this point in your life, it's all based around the standards that you have in your life, right? If you're making 5, 10, 15,000, 20,000, 100,000, $1 million, whatever the case is, right? Whatever you're making on a monthly basis right now is your standard. So I really want you to get honest with yourself that if you're not happy and content with the money that you're making, then you want to, first of all, start off by raising your standard. Just simple as that sounds. You got to raise your standard, because if you have it as a must that you must make $10, $15, $20,000 a month, then that must is going to be met, right? Our musts are met, not whatever, everybody wants to be a millionaire. Everybody wants to be a billionaire. But on the opposite end, are you actually going to be willing to take the time to actually make it happen? Are you going to be putting in the work? So number one, raise your standard. And you want to turn that should into a must, right? So I really want you to get specific and write down what money you must make on a monthly basis. Like, this is something that you cannot go to bed. You cannot take the weekend off. You cannot take time off until this must is met. And what is that for you? Are you on track to do that? And if you're not on track to do that, then right now is a good time to reevaluate those goals. And money is a reflection of that standard. And also, the next thing you want to do is also change your limiting beliefs, right? We all have limiting beliefs. I have limiting beliefs. And what we do and what I do is that we got to constantly look at these beliefs that we hold, because we're most of the time living in these beliefs and we're not even conscious about them. We're not even conscious that we have these beliefs, right? We think whatever is possible for us, and the majority of whatever we think is possible for us is based on our past. And our past is not a predicator of our future. Our future is a predicator of whatever we hold in this moment as a reality, right? So if in this moment, I believe that I am unlimited and I can achieve whatever I desire, like literally whatever I desire, without a past attached to it, then my life is going to be much different than if I were to say, well, you know what, I've done this in the past and I've done that in the past, and I grew up in this side of town and my parents did this and my family did that, and then so-and-so did this and the market did that, right? You're going to live in that excuse land in the past, right? And that all that past is an illusion. It's a fantasy, because it really doesn't exist. Your past doesn't exist and your future doesn't exist. whatever, the only thing that exists right now is this moment. So what are you going to be creating for yourself, and what limitations are you going to let go? Because there's most likely some limitations that you're holding on to that are keeping you where you are right now. And if you're and if your life is working out at a high level, great. But I also don't want you to get comfortable, because that's the one thing that success creates is comfort, right? When you get to a certain level of success, you can start to take the foot off the gas pedal. And if you start to do that, then your results start to dip every day, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And before you know it, you're in a downward spiral, you're in a downward trajectory. And that's exactly what you don't want to do. 1% downhill, it's going to be a lot in a year, right? So you want to take, even if it's a 1% gain every single day, but you're showing up to yourself and the greatest version of yourself. You want to review your goals every day. You want to write them down, and you want to review the most important goals every single day. And, your future year, 2 years, 5-year goals, you want to read those at least, once a month, but you want to read them and stay on top of that. And also get connected why it is that you're doing what you're doing. And I know it sounds simple, but it is like, why are you waking up out of bed? Or what is going to get you out of bed in the morning, right? Are you really inspired? Are you being pulled out of bed? Are you being pulled, into your business every single day? Because if you're not, you probably don't have a clear path. And if you don't, that's okay. But you really want to get serious about creating that clear path, because if you're lacking inspiration, it's because you don't know where you're going. So I really want you to write that down for yourself. And the one thing that is a pathway to success, or another key, is the ability to anticipate where everything is going, right? We know that the industry is going more digital. We know that the industry is changing, and we need to pivot. We need to anticipate. That's one thing that a successful person anticipates. They see where things are going ahead of time. And you got to be willing to be early to the party. I mean, if you don't have websites, if you don't have digital systems, you're already late to the party. You need to take action on those things now, because the industry is digital, right? People are finding properties, 93% of them online. And I remember when that statistic was like in the 40-50% range. Now it's like 93%, almost 100% of all home searches are there. So you got to have a digital storefront. So that's the thing that you need to anticipate. How are you going to lead generate? How are you going to thrive? How are you going to grow? How are you going to leverage, right? Ask yourself those kind of questions. And you've got to invest in yourself constantly. Your pathway to success is going to be directly a correlation to how much you invest in yourself. And one of the ways that you do that, obviously, is by reading, going to seminars, listen to motivational talks. But you want to surround yourself, most importantly, with people that are going to pull out the best from you, that are going to continue to elevate yourself every single day. Because most of the time, we also start to lower our standards depending on the people that we're around. So if you want to elevate your standards, get around people that are thinking big, that are doing big, that are making you feel uncomfortable, because comfort is the first step of you declining in life. Comfort is great. You want to be comfortable enough where you're not stressed out of your mind, but you want to use that comfort as a base and then build your dream on top of that, right? Because I think that there is a place for comfort, but don't allow comfort to get you so comfortable that you are left in inaction. And eventually that comfort is going to be uncomfortable because you're not taking the actions you need to take. And you have no competition, right? The pathway to success, you have no competition outside of yourself. Your competition is who you can become. That's your competition, right? What is the greatest and grandest version of yourself? What is your ultimate potential? You don't know that. I don't know what my ultimate potential is, but I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to find out what that is. I'm going to continue to push myself a little bit more every single day, because I know that when I go to bed at night, if I don't give my day my all, if I don't go all in, I know for a fact that right before when my head hits the pillow, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done that, like it's just noisy. So you want to get ahead of all of that noise, because if you actually continue to push yourself and make yourself better every single day, then that noise is going to be quiet. When you go to bed at night, you're like, you know what? I give it my all. I feel exhausted and I can't wait to get to rest, right? But the thing is that a lot of the times you're not doing really well. You go to bed and then you're like, oh my God, you're in a soup of like unhappiness, and you wake up with that unhappy state. The other thing that I will tell you to do is like, you got to wake up extra early, like whatever, look, and I'm not telling you to wake up at a certain time. I typically wake up between 5:30 and 6 a.m., right? Some people are waking up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Some people are waking up at 8. Whatever time you wake up in the morning, I encourage you to wake up an hour earlier, just 1 hour. And that way you got time to think before the day starts to throw you all of the demands, all of the requests. You want to make sure that you get ahead of all that noise, because if you are, just interacting with the noise constantly, you're going to be reactive, and you want to be proactive. If you wake up earlier in the morning, you got time to process, you got time to think, you got time to nurture yourself. And then when you get to your day and you get into the conversation, you have a different level of conviction. Just like this presentation, I prepared this presentation yesterday. I prepared this presentation yesterday because I know I was going to have a bunch of noise if I woke up and I was, when I was going to go do my walk and my workout and everything. If I had to do this presentation and create this presentation the morning of, my mind would be super noisy thinking about like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got to rush to get back. And I don't want to be rushed, right? You want to anticipate and you want to be proactive. That way you can get ahead of all that noise, right? So that's the conversation that I wanted to have with you today. That's going to be the path. A couple of the ways you're going to get yourself, on track to the pathway of success. So here on the next slide is the weekly market update. This is what happened in 1 week in real estate. So I pull up the numbers every week for you. That way you know exactly what's going on in 5 counties. So I go over Los Angeles, San Bernardino, Orange County, Riverside, and San Diego. In this one slide, I have, LA, what you could see, San Diego's on the next slide. So in LA, I'm going to start off with that. We got 9,700 homes available for you to sell. We got 9,900 in escrow. We got 1,464 homes that sold in 1 week, last week in Los Angeles. Average price is $1 million. Average days in the market is 25, and 1.5 billion in real estate sold in LA in 1 week. That's a lot of real estate. That's LA. Then if you look at Orange, you got 4,000 homes available, 4,300 in escrow, 796 homes closed, $984,000 is the average price, 29 days on the market, $793 million in volume. San Bernardino, you got 2,600 homes available, 4,600 in escrow, 580 sold, average price is $446, $259 million in volume. Now you got Riverside County. Riverside broke some records this week, almost 1,000 units closed in 1 week. You got 4,428 homes available, 6,000 in escrow, and you got $488 million in volume in 1 week. Average days in the market is 37 days. Now you got the next slide here. You got San Diego, 4,000 homes available, 5,000 in escrow, 743 closed, $880,000 price point, 22 days on average on market. They're going fast. $654 million in real estate, right? Why do I share with you this information every week? Well, because this is what's possible, right? We talk about the unlimited potential. This is what's possible, right? Over 3.7 billion closed in 1 week in our 5 counties. You got over 4,509 homes that sold, that closed escrow, that people got paid on last week, 1 week. And then you got over 25,000 homes available. You got over 29,000 in escrow. And the average days in the 5 counties, on average, properties are selling in 29 days. So with this information, then you could see what is possible for yourself. What kind of percentage do you want to capture of business in these counties, right? Do you think differently about the market now? Because one thing that when you don't know the numbers and when you don't know what's going on, it's really easy to trick yourself and say, well, the market's not that great, or the market is doing this, the market's doing that. You really get yourself into this excuse way of doing business. But when you really see reality, you can really see like, man, I got to get my act together and I got to go get my fair share of that market, right? So that's what happened in these 5 counties. Expireds, we had 245 homes expired off the market last week. And actually I did this yesterday, so I think this number actually might be up. I would assume, and I'm going to check this out, but I think it's going to be an additional 400 properties at least that expired off market as of Monday, because we just had a new week, but it may be 245. I don't know, but I did this yesterday. So I didn't account for the properties that expired off market today. So these are the foreclosures. This is what happened in our 4 counties of foreclosures. So you got 340 homes in pre-foreclosure status in Riverside, 310 in pre-foreclosure in San Bernardino, 1,100 in LA, and 352 in Orange County. So why am I keeping track of this weekly as well? Well, this is going to be our indicator when we have a market shift, right? Foreclosures are going to be one of the first signs that we're going to start to see the market start to dip. Right now, everything's on an incline. Everything's going over asking price. Everything is selling really fast. But as soon as these numbers start to go up, that's going to start to, we need to get prepared for that. So that's why I'm doing this on a weekly basis. So the numbers that I just read off to you, those are pre-foreclosure status. Those numbers have gone down every single week. And properties are not really selling at auction right now. Most banks are working with people, so the numbers are very, very low. Like if you could see in September, we only had 14 sales at the auction in Riverside, 17 in San Bernardino, 29 in Los Angeles, and 5 in Orange County. Before, because I've been doing this for 16 years, before you had 14 homes, 29 homes selling in a county in one day. So these are very, very low numbers, in comparison to what it could be. When these numbers start to increase, though, you better believe it, the market's going to start to dip out because there's going to be more inventory on the market. So you see the scheduled, right? This is what actually is scheduled to sell in the month of October. Actually, that there's a typo there. They're scheduled to sell in October. So you have 122 in Riverside, 109 in San Bernardino, 517 in Los Angeles, and 112 in Orange County. So these are the total numbers right now that are scheduled to go to sale. But the fact of the matter is that in the beginning of the month, I always do these numbers and they start to decline as the weeks go by. So I'm hoping that these numbers also, keep postponing, but this is what I want you to get to. There's people out there right now that need your help, right? That need your advice, your professional opinion on what they're going to be doing, because right now, most of the people that are in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure, they still have equity, so they can put their homes on the market and capture their equity and walk away with some money or some capital, right? So you need to get your clients ready for that, and don't have them be, the 14 or the 29 people that didn't do anything about it and they just went to auction. They just literally just say, you know what, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to allow our home to go to auction. So get out there and talk to these individuals. I use a software called Property Radar to get this data. So you can go on there, get their contact information, get their address, go out there and talk to these guys. They need a professional like yourself to help them out. So that's the numbers for foreclosures. Now I'm going to pivot over to EXP numbers. My God, our stock is on fire. We're at over $50 a share as of this morning. I did this thing last night and we were only at $43 a share. That's what it closed out on Friday. And we peaked out at $51 this morning. So it's up by $9 since last week. We got over 36,000 agents nationwide at EXP, and we got 4,600 in California. So we're very, very close to hitting that 5,000 agent mark here in Cali. So that's pretty incredible. I started in this company when the stock was going for $7, $8 a share. And, I've only been here for 2 years and 2 months, and the stock is going for $50.38. So I have many, many agents in my company that have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 shares of stock in this company. Especially my icon agents have a bunch of stock in this company. So this is literally life-changing and game-changer. This company is not going to give you an award or a trophy, even though they do give you recognition and they do give you these little, awards that they broadcast you. They're going to give you the recognition that you want. But I think that if you're getting an award for stock and they're rewarding you for doing what you want to do, which is to sell real estate, and the more that you do, the more awards that you get. This is like big right here. This is what I want a lot of people to see. This right here is going to be your built-in retirement vehicle, your built-in wealth vehicle, and it's included already. So make sure that you're opting into the equity program, and make sure you get even more productive, because my intention, at least, is to get my hands as much stock as possible. This is big, guys. So interest rates, I pretty much have not updated the slide in a couple of weeks because it's kind of fluctuating between 2.5% to 3.5%, depending on the type of program, depending on the terms, but anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5%. That's what the interest rates are going for. If you need to get on my calendar and you want some of my time for coaching or whether it be maybe you have an agent that needs to talk about EXP, you can actually go to my living calendar. It's up to date. You can just text calendar to 949-799-4885, and I can book a time slot for you right there, and I'll show up either to a Zoom or a phone call, whatever is best for you. So I want to tell you about this. I actually want to take a moment to recognize these leaders. We got Richard Reyes, Sierra Sims, and Joseph Trujillo. These are the icon agents actually at our company right now here in our local marketplace. And these three superstars are knocking it out of the park. You know, these guys are, you know, they're excellent. They're showing up to work every single day. They're elevating their production, and they're growing massive teams with EXP. But they've each got $16,000 in stock. Richard Reyes, Sierra Sims, and Joseph has been here for a little bit over 2 years as well. This guy has got the EXP Icon Award 2 years in a row. So that means that he's gotten $32,000 in stock. And this is what I really want you to get to. The stock awards that they're got, I would say that the average share that they got the award was about $10 a share. So right now the stock is $50 a share. So they've 4x'd whatever their award was. So that means that they didn't get 16,000. They got 4 times the amount of that in an award. And I don't know about you, but that's massive, right? I would get a stock award like that all day, every day over a trophy or anything else, because I've had many of those. I mean, I was with big brokerages in the past, and I've had a ton of trophies, and they're in a box. They're not paying me today. They're not doing anything for my future. So again, Richard Reyes, Sierra Sims, Joseph Trujillo, congratulations on all your success. Just wanted to make sure that I give them a big shout out. And we're going to have an event this Wednesday at 12 o'clock on Facebook Live. And you're actually going to have an opportunity to meet them, ask them questions, and they're going to be sharing their story on how they became icons. And they're going to also talk about, you know, the best strategy they're using to grow their business today. So these are the 3 events that we have of this week. We have a big announcement. We also have a new partner that's joining us. I'm doing a Facebook Live tomorrow at 12 o'clock, the Icon event. And then we're also doing another one on Thursday. I have another amazing partner that's joining at noon on Thursday. So there's going to be 3 Facebook Live events this week. So all you got to do is go to my Facebook page, and you'll be able to see these events. Every single one of these events is at lunchtime. So get your lunch, show up. It's going to be super powerful. And I just have the calendar here for you again. In addition to having those 3 events, you also see that you have the breath work, which is called Flow Mondays. That's going on actually in about 30 minutes. So I'm really excited about that. So for those of you that are joining on the Flow Mondays, awesome. I'll see you there. And then I also have role playing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 to 9. Those little green boxes, that's what they represent. I also have a KV Core Mastermind. So if you want to develop your KV Core on Wednesday at 11 o'clock, I got that going on. And if you want to also talk about this company to someone else and you want to continue to get re-inspired about the company, I'm doing a live event on Friday at 10 o'clock where I talk about EXP and the opportunities and the benefits. So it's EXP Explained on Friday. So that's the calendar. And I'm going to ask you this question. What will you create this week? How many listings are you going to sign? How many open escrows are you going to have this week? How many closings? How many agents will you inspire to come over to this company and change their life? I want you to get a goal specifically. I want you to write it out. And I want you to also write out why you're going to be accomplishing these goals this week, right? Why are you raising your standards? Why is it that you want this additional income? Why is it that you want to impact these additional families? What is going to move you out of bed? Make sure you write those goals down also from, not the past, from what's possible, and don't worry about how you're going to do it. Just write it down. So who I am is the possibility of being motivated and resilient, right? Those are the 2 words that I chose for myself today. So I encourage you to pick 2 words that are going to move you and inspire you, where you're going to use those 2 words to drive yourself in every single conversation. I'm going to show up motivated and resilient. Motivated and resilient. Those are the 2 words that I chose. For you, it could be positive. It could be, passionate. It could be loving. It could be grateful. It could be inspired. I mean, it could be whatever it is you want. But just make sure you choose, because this is what I know for a fact. Words create world. So whatever words you're using on a consistent basis, is going to create a world. And if you want to change your life, change what you're saying, right? If you keep saying that everything is not good and you're using your life force energy to create what you don't want. So you want to make sure you create it for what you do want. I'm going to be motivated and resilient this week, everywhere that I go, on this presentation, on a conversation, in a meeting, everywhere that I go, where I meet with my family, with my girl, whatever it is, I'm going to be motivated and resilient, right? Your focus is to create your day. Make sure you plan that out, right? Even in the weekend, I spend my Sunday crafting out my week, looking at my calendar, bringing my intentionality to it, and then allow your plan to dictate your day. Don't get distracted with distractions, with low producing activities. Make sure you focus on the priorities. Make sure you lead generate, have at least 30 conversations, and do 2 or more social media posts every single day. You want to make sure that you're out there letting people know that you're in the business. Don't be a secret agent. Right now, the way that people are going to be able to see you is on social media. So make sure that you post it out there that you're in the business. Digital door knocking, use KV Core, leverage KV Core. KV Core is so powerful. There's people out there that don't have a KV Core, or that people that are, I know for a fact, that are paying for KV Core $700 a month. And EXP agents you guys have this for free. Use the system. It's very powerful. This is how you're going to digitize your business. This is your digital storefront. And also take some time to learn it, right? There's modules that are already there. There's classes every single day. We have a mastermind. There's so many things you can do. Be empathetic and see how you could be a resource to other people around you, right? Make sure you get it into the world. The one way that I know that you can increase your sales and increase everything that you do is by getting in the other people and the other person's world, right? Don't make it about yourself. Make it about them. What's important to them? What moves the needle for them, right? That's what's going to get them connected to actually working with you and trusting you. And talked about this earlier, exercise, push-up, jumping jacks, do something, get your blood flowing. If you have your blood flowing, then you're going to show up in a different way with different energy, different conviction. People are going to work with you because they're going to be like, man, I want what that person has to offer. There's just something about them, right? Meditate. Also sit for 10 minutes and just quiet the mind. And that way you got a little bit of separation from all the noise and from who you are to what you want to create. Because you got to be in a position where you can observe your life. If you're constantly like just in your life constantly, then it's hard to make any changes. But when you take a step back and you meditate, you can actually observe, like, how are things playing out? How are things working out? Do I like the way they're working out? Do I not like the way they're working out? So you got to take the time. That's why meditation is super important and critical. So the last slide, thank you so much for your time. Let's create an extraordinary week. My intention has been to deliver this amazing information, and I hope that it inspired you, motivated you. And if you're going to be joining me on Flow Mondays, make sure that you tune into that, because that'll get you, again, it's like a meditation practice for 45 minutes where we do it as a group. So make sure you tune into that. And that's it. That's it for today.